So don't forget to follow me on Instagram, High Carb Health. Hit the follow button and click on the green H to see what I get up to. What I eat, what I do, it's all here. You can follow me on what I eat as well. So check it out, guys. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. We've got the lovely Dr. Mark Craig here again, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit with us. Today we're going to talk about my blood test results and just to share with people, what the results are and what your opinion is of them. So shall we go through them? I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put a screenshot on the screen and you guys can see that, but we'll go through them. Stuart, your opinion.
And
should
we go through one by one? Yeah. Overall, the bloods are excellent. There's minimal, anything wrong with them at all. I'll go through the list. Your thyroid's normal, or your kidney tests are absolutely normal. Inflammation marker called CRP, which is a measure of general inflammation in the body, plumb normal at 3. Blood count all fine, white blood cells fine, platelets normal. They can go up if you've got inflammation. All the liver tests are perfect, bang in the middle.
So just the protein as well, it's flush in the middle. I mean, they say that a vegan diet or plant-based diet can't get enough protein.
Yeah, so absolute rubbish. So you get more than your need, body's needs of protein every day and more. Your body will be excreting some of it. And plant protein's far more important and safer than animal protein.
Yeah.
On your kidneys and inflammation, and I could go through 100 things. But
what do the animals eat? The plants, don't they?
Yeah, go straight to the source. Don't eat the middleman. Go straight to where it comes from. And then if you go down the list, all the cholesterols are perfect. Your overall ratio is 3.5, total cholesterol 3.8, absolutely barn door normal. Diabetes score normal. B12 absolutely perfect, and folate. So B12 is 220, and it's best to take a supplement every week of B12. Which I'm sure you do, you don't have to be exact, but just keeping it up into the 200s, 200, 250 range. There's lots of buffer with that. Yeah,
it's important to get a blood test to check your B12 levels as well, because you don't want them to be too low. So every now and then, go to your doctor and get a blood test for B12 as well. My folate was quite high. Now, I think, not quite high, but just a little bit high. And I think a lot of people don't think that you can get folate on a plant-based diet as well, because a lot of people supplement, especially pregnant women. I think that's, folate, is it folic acid or folate is the big thing? Yeah. But, I've been eating a lot of silver beet. You've seen my Instagram and my daily food intake, eating a lot of silver beet, and that has a lot of folate in it, so that's probably why it's a little bit high.
Yeah, folate comes from foliage, so it comes from green leafy vegetables. That's where it gets its name, essentially.
And we're just not eating enough of them, are we?
We're not eating enough. That's why it's given to pregnant women, because it's known that on the Western diet, a lot of people don't get enough greens or don't eat vegetables. So that's why they get it. But you kind of don't want too high folate. Long term, there's some associations with inflammation. So. But eating it from a plant dietary source is your body can regulate it. It's just you shouldn't be taking lots of supplements for it if you don't need it, just like with any other supplement.
The only other one was my iron.
So the iron, So the iron is, to me, it's absolutely fine. To all intents and purposes, absolutely fine. So the reference ranges are 20 to 400, and you've got to remember those reference ranges are done for people who eat an omnivorous or perhaps a high animal product diet. So 20 to 400. And you're at 17, so you're entirely well. You don't have any loss of blood. You don't have any problem with anemia or anything like that. So, the fact it's slightly out with their reference range is irrelevant. You're healthy, completely well.
Correct.
In fact, you don't want a too high iron level, because too high iron is inflammatory. It's a toxic thing in the body to have too high iron levels, which many omnivores do. I see people in the several hundreds, with their iron, and probably they're causing long-term inflammation.
Right.
Well, it's a bit like the white blood cell ranges, which, on a plant-based diet, you have a lower reference range from people who are on an omnivorous diet, because people on an omnivorous diet have chronic inflammation going on, and so all those blood test levels, when they set them, they look at all the people in the population and say, well, where are their ranges, and they have to draw a top line and a bottom line to say that's normal. But people are eating the wrong diet a lot of the time. Majority of people probably, lots of animal products. And actually, if you're plant-based, your reference ranges are down here, and that's probably the same with iron. In fact, the reference range used to be 15, and they change it every now and then.
Yeah, right. And aren't these reference ranges are going to be different worldwide as well, aren't they? Or is it fairly the same? I mean, New Zealand,
yep, from lab to lab,
Asia, yeah,
from lab to lab, country to country, definitely it changes. Even within the same country, you can have different reference ranges.
Right.
So, you're absolutely completely healthy if you're feeling, really weary, tired, can get out of bed, that kind of thing, which is, that's not a symptom of a plant-based diet at all. That's, people on, in fact, there are more omnivores or people on carnivorous diets that have a low iron, from all the other stuff they're eating, often women, and causing heavy periods. They lose a lot of blood each month, and then they get low iron and even anemia. But no, it's absolutely fine, that level. I guess, you'll just keep an eye on your iron in terms of the food you take in. And there are lots of tactics you can do to increase your iron absorption and keep your levels up anyway. So like avoiding tea and coffee when you're eating high iron containing foods. And they are beans and greens, by the way, green vegetables and legumes or pulses. There's some other things as well that can bump it up, things like molasses and other sort of particular special types of foods. But you wouldn't want to take iron tablets. Iron tablets are unpleasant, and they're a bit inflammatory, horrible on your gut, turn your poo sticky and black, and all those sorts of things. And there's absolutely no need to take it. Probably more people are on iron tablets and supplements than need to be. I think people just got to be happy that they don't need a very sky high iron level, and it's not a good thing.
Cool.
So they're a perfect set of blood tests.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. To sum up, what do you think about my blood tests? And, I'm not having any anemia issues. I just ran 2 10Ks on Monday and Wednesday, so I don't think I'm having any issues with that. But yeah, just you heard it here first from Dr. Mark Craig talking about my blood tests. So there you go. And I think that was it. Blood tests are a good guide, I would say. They're not like the end all. It's about how you feel, which is most important. It is obviously good to get it checked. And if you have a really good doctor that understands lifestyle change and diet and lifestyle, go to those doctors, because they're going to obviously understand a plant-based diet and why it is the healthiest. And why do you say that? Why do you do a plant-based diet, for example?
Where do you start? Yeah. There are so many studies, like all different types, showing eating those foods and not eating the other foods are beneficial for you. More fibre, more micronutrients, better gut health, less risk of inflammation and heart disease, stroke disease, cancers, which are associated with all those animal products, there's all those absolutely established health benefits, and that's where all the national guidelines and international guidelines are moving towards a plant-based diet. The big Eat Lancet guide came out recently, and that also encourages people from a health but also environmental point of view. You've got to be an environmentally sustainable diet. So if you had 2 diets that were different, for example, like a low-carb type diet and a whole food plant-based diet, and if you feel, which they don't, if you feel that both could achieve the same result, whether that's remission of your disease or weight loss or something, why wouldn't you choose a whole food plant-based diet?
Exactly, that's right. Our planet needs you. It's dying, and you see all the events that are happening around the world, the freezing cold and the extreme heats, and what does that have to do with animal agriculture and the raising animals for food? There's a part to play. So it's definitely a win-win for everything, isn't it?
But having said that, the evidence is way in favour of whole food plant-based eating and not the other things. You can get short-term benefits from some of those other, niche fad type diets, and perhaps people are cutting out some junk when they go on those sorts of diets, but, you don't need to put yourself through that at all. You don't want to store up trouble for further down the stream, as you get a bit older, just for short-term gains when you can do it with just, this way of eating,
Cool.
Cool, and thanks for that, Shamiz. And the other thing I was telling people is that I'm running my own clinic sessions now under truesouthmedical.co.nz. So that's truesouthmedical.co.nz, and I'm seeing people for extended consultations of half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour or even more for nutrition and lifestyle coaching and advice and helping change behaviour. So if there's anyone out there who wants to come and see me for that, just Google the name and get in touch, and I'd love to see you. Okay, thank you.